Hey there, everybody. Pastor Corey here. Just wanted to pop in for a midweek challenge and a thought to be thinking about here on our Wednesday wrap-up. We started a new series this past week called Leading a Legacy, how to live life well, especially when life's not really going all that well. And I don't know about you, but I'd say for a lot of people, it's possible that life's not going super well right now. And maybe you've felt this way yourself, that feels like every day is kind of the same. It melds into the next. Zach and I were having this conversation earlier that he said to me, Corey, I've never felt like I had more free time, and yet I also have never felt more busy in my life. And I was reflecting on that and thinking about this new challenge I wanted to reach out to you with as we do this series that's about how to live life well, especially when life's not going that well. And the challenge I want to send to you and your family is this: take a Sabbath. It's an ancient practice, but do it. Take a Sabbath, a 24-hour period. Sabbath literally means stop. Stop working, stop producing, stop searching, stop scrolling. Just stop for one day a week. A day where there's no such thing as I have to or I need to. There's only I get to. You see, part of why I want to encourage you to do this is because there's so much potential for every day to sort of bleed into the next, and for our work to sort of bleed into every other area of our life, which means that while it's maybe true for you that you've never had more free time and yet never felt more busy, we still all feel so busy. And that's why God instituted Sabbath in the first place for the Israelites. I mean, after he rescued them from Egypt, a life in which every day was the same. Make bricks, bake bricks. Bricks, every day, all day, 7 days a week. And he gave them, after he rescued them from Egypt, this instruction on how to no longer be a slave, but actually how to be a human being. We know those instructions as the 10 Commandments. And the fourth one on that list, take a day off. The whole day, all day. Once a week, stop making, stop baking. Now, I've encouraged people to try this in the past, and often I get a lot of pushback from this. Corey, I can't take a whole day off. Corey, here are all my reasons. I've got kids, and I've got this job that's so important, and at this stage in our lives, we just can't do it. And you know what I always think is super interesting? This is the only command we make excuses for breaking. We don't feel bad about it. I mean, how many of you would ever think to yourself, we should ease up on the adultery command. At this stage of my life, and as long as my marriage has been, we should just ease up on that. Or we should really ease up on the murder command. If you had kids like I got kids, you would understand. No, of course we don't do that. We don't ease up on them because of our stage of life. So why do we do it for Sabbath? Why are we so opposed to Sabbathing from our brick making and our brick baking? Well, the truth is, if you're anything like me, it's probably because you're addicted to your work. Whatever that work looks like, you're addicted to the feeling of accomplishment, accumulation, checking it off the list, achievement. I mean, it's what makes you you. Who would you be if you didn't make or bake your bricks? Which is actually a really great question. Who are you without making or baking? I'll tell you, it takes a 24-hour period of stopping every week to find that out. And here's perhaps a different and deeper and maybe even a little bit more difficult question for you to answer. What's at stake if you don't do this? I mean, in the Old Testament, the punishment for breaking the commandment was death. In other words, God so desperately wanted people to rest once a week that he had the threat of death just kind of looming over them. Now, in the New Testament, it seems like Jesus sort of softened the force of the command, but he never changed the point of it. He said that Sabbath was made for man and not man for the Sabbath. But what that means is that Sabbath breaking isn't going to hurt God's feelings. Sabbath breaking will eventually break you. And actually, the research bears that out. People who take regular periodic times of rest, weekly and periodically throughout the year, they live longer. So take a day off, because breaking this command will break you. So take a day off and provide yourself some rhythm to your stay-at-home week. It's going to provide differentiation in your days. And most importantly, it's going to give you the rest your mind, your body, and your soul need. You are not what you make, and you are not what you bake. You're a child of God, chosen, forgiven, and marked as his own. And for one day a week, just a 24-hour period, that's enough. Personally, I've started taking a Sabbath on Sunday. For the first time in over a decade, Sunday is now my Sabbath. No making, no baking, just rest. Now, over the next couple of weeks, as we do this series together on how to live well, especially when life's not going well, each midweek, I'm going to pop back in, sometimes with somebody else, and sort of give you some tips and some tricks on how to do Sabbath well and some of the challenges that you might experience and walk through them together. I desperately want this for you. I want you to live life well, especially when life isn't going well. So, for today, consider taking 24 hours off from your making and baking, and we'll see you Sunday.